Of course, Ali Larijani was a prominent figure in Iranian system in the establishment. He has held various very important positions, including the Speaker of the Parliament. I think it was for about 12 years. And recently, he has held the position of the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, which is a very important position. And sometimes he superseded the president of the country. However, the Iranian system is designed to absorb such decapitation strikes and render them strategically ineffective. It is because it's not anchored in individuals, but in institutions, procedures, routinized processes. For example, following the killing of the supreme leader of Iran, the late Ali Khamenei, the constitutional procedures actually were activated and a temporary leadership council was established. And until the Assembly of Experts elected the new supreme leader of country, this temporary leadership council has actually assumed the power of the supreme leader so that there was no void, a gap of authority or any discontinuity in the country. So no individual is actually irreplaceable. So in this sense, I think Iran is totally different from the cases of Syria, Iraq, or Venezuela. The power in Iran is the institutions of Iran is organized through multi-layered fashion, and that's why it actually produces safeguards against that kind of attacks. So there are many power centers in Iran. Actually, they are overlapping on one another. So, and there are many important figures that balance one another. So this produces a structural safeguard. No man, no official is irreplaceable. However, it would be misleading to suggest that killing of Ali Larijani or Supreme Leader of Iran has no effect. On the contrary, the system actually interprets these assassinations as existential threats. So it tends to, harden the regime. The regime is becoming more rigid, less flexible. So we are seeing that the successors actually often emerge from hardline factions. At least moderate alternatives are sidelined. So it tells us that power is being increasingly consolidated within security institutions. So this dynamic actually has, broader implications, reverberations. It extends the duration of conflict. Iran is not feeling ready to engage in diplomatic talks because it, feels these attacks. It interprets them as existential. I think, like I said, every man in the system is actually replaceable. So, Basij forces is operating under IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps, and they are responsible for, like you said, crashing the internal protests and maintaining the, internal security in the country. So there are many security institutions inside Iran. Basij is not the only one. There are other institutions. And like I said, there is a form of polyarchy in the country. So there are many power centers, there are many security institutions. So they are actually operating in the same domain. So one commander is out doesn't mean that they, the end of the story. So they're going to replace with one another. And as given the already securitized political landscape in Iran, and by looking at the January protests and how violently they were suppressed by the security organizations inside the country, we can, I think, confidently claim that the Basij will, act as it was acting in the same fashion, the same manner. So one commander is, nothing for Basij, because these people are organized based on, very, neighborhood networks. So there are many millions of people, members of this Basij organization. They are volunteer, and they are paramilitary style organized. So I think the highly securitized atmosphere right now in the country are also pushing any opposition from taking to the streets and demonstrating against government. And as you know, this is wartime, so it is unlikely and any other protests erupting in the country. The security apparatus is tightening more this situation. They are tightening the grip on power. So I don't expect any meaningful change when it comes to Basij's actions against the internal opposition. Yeah, of course, Iran is, currently Iran is fighting directly, but it also has its regional allies, and we are seeing what we are seeing here, that Iran is conducting a multi-layered, strategy actually, and every actor, every regional ally of Iran's has its own unique position in Tehran's strategic calculus. So we are already, seeing Hezbollah has been very instrumental to, expand this war horizontally to Lebanese front. And also we are seeing Iraqi Hashdi Shabi forces are also targeting U.S. Military and diplomatic assets in Iraq. And also Iran is heavily, very reliant on Ansarullah forces in Yemen, but now they are on standby. I think every group has its own logic, and in Tehran's strategic calculation there is a timing for every actor. So Tehran is conducting this multi-layered strategy. It involves its direct military confrontation with US and Israeli forces, and also it includes its regional allies' activities against these forces, and also other targets, other for example military positions across the Gulf countries. So this is a multi-layered strategy. It doesn't only involve targeting military targets, but also it involves disrupting maritime activities, also inflicting heavy costs on financial markets, imposing really heavy costs on oil prices, for example. So it is a multidimensional strategy, and of course Iran's regional allies have their own position in that strategy. So if we are not seeing Ansarullah's activities right now, it means that Iran is actually preparing itself or has prepared itself for a very long battle, a prolonged war, and Ansarullah is waiting for its line to involve this war when it time comes.